What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area, the Contract Boys. I cannot believe we didn't start last week. Hey, shut up. Back to the kitchen with you. Lest corporate gets on us again. Can't believe we didn't start with the Contract Boys. I didn't even think of it. You thought of it, probably in the moment. We should have been the Contract Boys. Yes, it was too funny. But the Contract Boys are back, and we're back with that good, sweet nectar of content that everybody just yearns for. The Sharks only have 12 games left. 15?
18, somewhere in that range.
Somewhere in there. I don't know. They have less than 20. And we don't care about them anymore. What we care about is the boy auction. So we're back with another draft profile. Today, we brought on another expert. We're going to chop it up, and we're going to screw up this guy's name repeatedly. So enjoy.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm your host, Kyle Demetrius. Back with me, as always, is my co-host, JD, the Clank to my Ratchet.
I like it.
Did you ever play Ratchet and Clank?
Oh, hell yeah, I played Ratchet and Clank. I love Ratchet and Clank.
So good. Ratchet and Clank absolutely ruled.
Yes.
I still remember the first time I got like the lava whip.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, just unbelievable. They should bring that back.
They did recently. Anyway.
For Xbox?
No, it's PlayStation and Plus. It's PlayStation exclusive. Anyway.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But it was fun because you got to build the weapons, and then you could choose to like level up one of them and get better at it, and so many good things. It was so much better than Dak and Jackster.
Agreed, easily.
Yeah, Dax and Jackster was okay.
Yeah,
but not as good as Ratchet.
I don't know how to transition this.
I don't know. What do you think Ratchet and Clank is in Slovakian?
No idea. My Slovakian is horrid at best. So if you guys are new to the profiles, or what we do is we deep dive into a profile. I'll go through kind of who this guy is, kind of some of his basic stats, when he was born, Kyle's favorite, about them, and then we will bring on an expert who's going to kind of give us a lowdown.
Local mills in your area want to talk?
Yes, a local expert. He's going to talk more about this player, and we have one Filip Mešár. Mešár. I already messed up. Filip Mešár. Mešák. I know. I knew I was going to mess it up. Mešár, who is a Slovakian boy. He was born in January 2004. He's from some town I'm not even going to try to pronounce in Slovakia. He plays right now for the HK Poprad, which has an amazing jersey. Go check this.
Unbelievable logo. If you have it's a blue antelope, but like he looks like he goes fast.
Yeah, he definitely goes burr. He goes.
Do you think he's joined the Speed Force?
Yes, he goes full Noah Gregor, go burr. So forward, 5'10", 172 pounds. This year in the regular season, in the Slovakian league, 37 games, 8 goals, 8 assists for 16 points, puts you at a .43. In the playoffs so far, 4 games, 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points as well. So to talk more about Filip Mešár, we have on friend of the show, who's given us a lot of behind-the-scenes support, Josh Tessler of Smaht Scouting, to talk to us about one of his favorite prospects who, Josh, you guys have him ranked 9th, I believe, compared to like some of the other rankings. They have him at like 14, 22. TSN has him at like 37. What do you love about our Slovakian friend here?
Yeah, so when you look at a guy like Filip, there are a lot of great traits. I love how elusive he can be. He's incredibly shifty, mobile. He can easily generate a lot of open ice for himself using that shiftiness. I love his skating. He's got an excellent power stride, and lengthy stride extensions at that. And he skates really, really hard for loose pucks. He's he has shown that he can be a solid playmaker. I would like to see him him generate a little bit more pass to the slot. But like with that said, he still does a great job in terms of getting in terms of getting pucks to like the slot. It's just a little bit inconsistent. But I just love, I just love like the production that you get from him. And he's been drastically improving his shot throughout the year. He's had a few goals now from medium danger, and he's got a quick shot release, and yeah, I mean like the and I just and I just love and I just love the potential. And with that said, his CHL rights are owned by the Kitchener Rangers. And I don't think it's I don't think it's impossible to think that he will not be in the CHL next year, because I think that'll be a great transition point for him coming over from the Slovakian Extraliga, and getting his feet wet in North America. I think that would be a great transition for him. Yeah.
What you said that you like his production, but when you quickly just at a high level here, he's only got 16 points in 37 games. I don't think the Slovakian league is notable for being an amazing hockey league. So is 16 points for somebody who's 18 good, or help people understand, because I don't think any of our listeners watch Slovakian hockey or
Sure.
on a regular basis. So like how does that 16 points in 37 games fit into like the structure of the Slovakian league, and kind of why is that good?
Yeah, sure. So I mean, in general, when you are, watching a lot of European hockey, like the production, when facing, when facing, veteran adult players, in those leagues will generally not blow you off the charts. But and and generally, the Slovakian Extraliga isn't, it doesn't have a lot of, high end scoring producers. So so at the end of the day, it's a little, it's a little hard to judge there in terms of the production, and even though, you know, um, and even though that is the case too, if you look at the raw point totals, I believe that most of his assists are secondary. So as I said, before, I would definitely like to see, his primary assist numbers go up. And he's got that, elusive playmaking ability, to get pucks underneath, to get pucks underneath the attacker's triangle, and generate those pucks, and generate those passes to, high and medium danger. And
He's more of a
you know, and
playmaker.
yeah. Well, he's been, he's got like, he's more of like a cycle facilitator, slash a bit of a playmaker. And he's got, and he's got a great shot. I definitely think that he can fit in, alongside, a William Eklund. So.
Oh, that's just like absolute catnip. You can't mention William Eklund. That's unfair. Now we're going to be distracted thinking about William Eklund.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
We'll get to William Eklund.
You can repent. You can repent by buying 14 boxes of Built Bars from us.
So if you want to buy Built Bars and
we know you do
get closer to William Eklund, this is the time. So Built Bars. They are the amazing protein bars that taste just like a candy bar. Each bar is covered in 100% real chocolate. They're low calorie, high protein. They replace your candy bars with beets because they're better. A typical candy bar can go from anywhere to 200 to 300 calories, while most Built Bars are 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs, and 17 grams of protein. And if that doesn't float your boat, that's why you need to check out their puffs. They're the first ever protein-infused marshmallows. They're fluffy. They're marshmallow. Not just a protein bar. They're a treat, and they're covered in 100% real chocolate. Some of the fan favorite flavors include yummy cinnamon churro, coconut marshmallow, banana cream pie. So good. They're all going to be your new favorites. So head over to Built.com. Use the promo code LOCK15 to get 15% off your order. Again, use the promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at Built.com.
Nutrients.
So you mentioned our whole thing this summer, right, is we need to find William Eklund a friend. We need to find him that running mate that you can pair with, right?
Yep, I've watched a few of the interviews so far, and and I am willing to help you guys find a friend.
We're trying to find him a friend.
Much like a guy at the bar, we have a one-track mind here.
Yes. Can Filip be the Slovakian friend that in William Eklund's life that he needs? How would these two guys play together? Because we know Eklund is also kind of a play driver guy as well. Mm-hmm. How do you think these two guys would mesh together?
Yeah, so with the deception that William has, and his in his crafty passing ability, I definitely think that would be able to mesh well. In terms of what you're going to get out of Filip Mešár. Because I've seen William, do some I've seen William do some really, really nifty stuff, and if Filip Mešár can just, can just follow him like follow him like a hawk, because one of the things that I love about William Eklund is his willingness to try, deceptively place draw passes, and it's, and if you give Filip Mešár, some of those deceptive draw passes, he can, he's going to burn some goaltenders. So because he's got that quick release, and when he's at net front, he loves to go 5-hole. He will, and he will go top shelf. So I'm confident that, I am confident that, I'm confident that they would be a good duo together. And aside from Filip, other guys that, I've been thinking about, for San Jose, there's Jonathan Lekerimäki, which my good buddy Mikael Holm, I think, talked to you guys about.
He did.
I would love to see a guy like Frank Nazar. I want to say Tony talked to you guys about Frank.
He did, yes.
I'm just sitting here just quizzing myself on who, on who was coming on your show, eh?
You can keep going. We like to hear.
We like to hear
how good we are.
Yes. With Filip Mesar, what do you see him as when he gets to the NHL? Is he going to be a center? Is he going to be a winger? Like, what type of role do you think he will be when he gets to the NHL? What's his timeline? Do you think for the NHL as well? So, because you said he might be in the CHL next year. Like, what do you kind of timeline, and what do you think he looks like in the NHL?
Yeah. So in terms of timeline, I mean, he's I would say he's probably about probably like 2 to 3 years out. So give him a few seasons, in the CHL, and have him, become like a little bit of a better, playmaker, and getting, and just accumulating more and more passes, to open teammates, down low, and if he can just use his shot more and more and more, you are going to see a fun OHL campaign out of him next year. So, and I just want to see him, over here, playing against his, peers. And I can't wait to see what he can do here. And in terms of in terms of the role that I think he'll play in the NHL, I think he's more suited to be a winger. As I said before, you can definitely have him at center, but ideally I would put him on like the wing. He's got that, as I said before, he's got that elusive mobility that I saw a lot in like guys like Seth Jarvis, in his draft year, and and I definitely think that Jarvis, was just a little bit better in terms of his mobility and agility, but similar to Seth Jarvis, he just does a great job in terms of just just using his speed and his shiftiness, to open up ice for himself no matter what zone he is in.
What
Sorry?
No, go ahead.
No. So I just think that he would just be a great fit on the wing, and he can facilitate the cycle well, and dodge traffic with ease. So I would definitely have him at wing, yeah.
Where does he cap out at? Is he a first line guy if everything goes well? Is he a second line guy? Where is he gonna most likely fit in here when he finally makes it to the NHL?
It's difficult to say. It's either, I think in all likelihood you're getting a second line guy. I think if he can continue to develop his playmaking, as I said before, he could potentially be a first line guy, but I think in all likelihood you're probably looking at a second line guy. But that's based on, what I've seen out of the Slovakian Extraliga. I think the upside potential is there. It's just a matter of, how well will it translate, to the OHL. And, and with that said, I am banking on it, I'm banking on him being very, very successful at the OHL, but I just want to set like a floor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Does he have a floor, or is he one of these guys that you draft and there's potential he just never makes the NHL?
Why would you do that to Josh? Kyle, this is his guy.
We asked the hard questions.
Yeah, that's
tough.
I mean, that's really hard. No, I am betting on that he is a NHL player. I don't think, I think even if it somehow, knock on wood, that it doesn't happen, but I think that, even if it doesn't work out, you're still giving him a decent, sample, in the NHL.
Makes sense. I mean, he's not gonna be like a third line kind of grinder type of guy. I think he's too
No.
skilled for that and doesn't have really the body type for that. So he needs to be a skilled like top 6 guy. Like he's
Yep.
not gonna be a fallback. Like, at least I can do this and go play 9 minutes a night or something like that on a team. So
Yeah, but I mean, with that said too, I mean, like, as you ease him into the NHL, you might opt to put him on like the third line for a little bit. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't, but I mean, I don't think long term he is a third, that he is a third line guy.
Where does he slot in with the Sharks prospects if we're assuming that Eklund is the top prospect they have? And then from there, you've got your Bordelos, your Robins, your Gushins, your Coes, your Weisblatts. Where does he fit into these rankings if the Sharks were to take him?
Yeah, I would probably put him. So definitely after William. I think he's
Everyone's
probably
after William.
I think he's definitely in the Bordelo tier.
So Bordelo, Robins,
Yep.
Mešár, and then below them would be like your Gushins, your Coes, your
Yep.
Weisblatts kind of deal.
Yep.
Okay, it's good.
Okay.
I like that. They got to stop drafting guys that are 5'10", though. Every single one of them is 5'10".
Small boys forever.
They are literally all the same size.
Except for Brandon Coe. Brandon Coe is like a giraffe compared to the Brandon Coe and Larock are a bunch of giraffes.
And we just discovered that Igor Kashnikov is also 6'6". So they have big ass defensemen. Sharks are probably gonna be picking in that 10 range, give or take a few slots. Is he realistically gonna go in that range? If you were an NHL GM, put your oldest, manest, hockeyist hat on.
Yes, throw all the analytics out the window.
Think like a GM. Think like you're Pierre Maguire.
Get that corn dog.
See, the thing is that I could definitely see Doug Wilson, Joe Will doing it, but I think it varies per I think it varies per team. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you're if you are, for example, for example, for example, the Senators. I don't think that Filip is going going to the Sens anytime soon. Like he just doesn't seem to be like their their type of forward whatsoever.
He's too good. He's too good.
He's not scrappy enough.
Anytime you can draft Tyler Boucher at 10, you got to do it.
But I think it's just going to vary on like the GM.
Kind of more progressive.
Your Yzermans, your Wilsons, they're guys that are your who's the guy in a Lightning? Oh, Brisebois.
Yeah,
Kent Hughes apparently. Kent Hughes, the new wild card. But he's not going one. There's probably, where would you say he firmly could start getting drafted at? Because obviously he's not going 1, he's not going 2. We know he's probably not going 3. Where does the Mešár talk start happening?
I think when you get to like the 8-9 range is when is when I would bring up his name. But as you guys said, there are a lot of GMs that would probably shy away from him. So there's a drastic range.
Yes, you'd have him kind of when Geeky and Nazar and Savoy, Lekkerimäki, Pickering, Denton Matachuk, like when these guys start coming up is when you would also put in Filip Mešár, I guess.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
But sorry, not Savoy. But but for
Short King Spring.
instance, but for instance, I would take him over Connor Geeky in a heartbeat.
Poor Connor Geeky. He's just getting everybody we talk to is just like, no, not Connor Geeky.
Except for Joel.
Yes.
I think the big riser here is Pavel Minchikov, and also my boy Juraj Slafkovsky, who is giant.
I could see the Sharks, betting on Pavel. I think the challenge with Pavel is his defense is the biggest question mark.
So he'll fit right in with the rest of the team.
But with with that said, I mean, man, he loves to pinch up. He is he is aggressive with his offensive pursuits. So he's not so he's not going to sit at the blue line and and wait for the puck to come to him. He's going to make things happen for himself. And with that said, I've said this now quite a bit. I want Pavel to go to the right team for him because I think there are many teams, where if Pavel goes there, I'm just scared that they're going to tell him like, hey, you need to play more of a conservative role. And
Buffalo,
I think
down.
so I would definitely be very wary in terms of where he goes, but I could but in terms of what you get out of Pavel, and the type of player that he is, I could easily see teams like LA, San Jose, Carolina, I could see the Leafs. Those are those are the teams that I think would do well in terms of his player development. But yeah, I mean, in terms of like his defensive play, he just needs to work on tracking the puck a lot better. His reaction timing isn't great.
Good thing he's not a goalie.
Well, yeah, but with that said, I mean, like you can always pair him with the right, defender, that would take more of a conservative approach.
Yeah,
and
bonus Minchikov coverage here.
Oh yeah,
who's expecting that? How many guys do you have that are definitively better than Mešár? I know you have him. You have Mešár 9th, right?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, I'm assuming like the 8th guy isn't definitively better than Mešár.
Let me
maybe he is.
Let me load up my board before I'm gonna. Let me load up my board before I'm gonna say something dumb.
That'd be awesome if the gap was 8-9. Actually, like
he's just like, yep, that's the cutoff.
I'm guessing there's the right, Cooley, Nemec.
Yeah, so
check, but like how many of those guys are definitively better than Mešár?
So Wright, Lambert, Cooley, Savoy, Jiricek, Nazar are definitely better. Slavkovsky's definitely better. I think it's I think when you get to like Simon Nemec, Joachim Kemel, Noah Ostlund, Gleb Trikazov, Danil Yurov.
Be careful about the Gleb talk. Will has ears up at all times throughout the Gleb talk.
I love Gleb.
Okay.
I love Gleb, and he's and he is another player that I think that I think that I think your scouting department would love. He's got he reminds me of Danila Gushin quite a bit.
That's fun.
So yeah,
That's
That's
very
interesting.
fun.
All right, so there's seven guys that you say would definitively be better before we start getting into some questions about who could go where. That's not bad. That's pretty good, especially if the Sharks are picking like 13th.
And they're gonna be 10th and 11th. They're pretty.
Yeah, so if they're picking 10th or 11th, that's still pretty good. Okay, Josh, we have two final questions. We will be extracting some blood from you, writing it down in your own blood, and then coming back to you and finding you when you're inevitably wrong.
Yep.
Because I don't think actually last year you were one of the only people to get this first question right because you got to do Matty. Oh no, you got it wrong because you profiled Matty Beniers. We're like, I guess Matty Beniers is the best player. And so you said he was going to go 1, but he went 2. Where does Filip Mešár go? What number?
I'm going to say 12.
12. Ooh, so the Sharks take somebody else. Interesting. I like it. The intrigue. Who's 12 right now? 12 is currently. I got it. Is
Columbus?
No, the Islanders.
I pulled up Tankathon right now. So.
Oh, well, fancy guy. Your car hole. Your family. Columbus. Interesting. They're going off the board. Final question. Who is, looking back, it's 2027, 5 years from now.
We're still doing the podcast.
We're still doing the podcast. Me from Australia, JD from the old age home. It's good. It's a good partnership. Who 5 years from now is the best player in the draft?
That's tough, man. That is tough.
Told you we only have hard questions here. JD's a capital to J journalist.
I could see. Can I give you multiple guys and explain exactly where my head is at?
I mean,
just say it's Brad Lambert.
You can, and then we're gonna make you pick one. So
yeah, we're gonna make you pick one.
Oh,
so you got you can.
There's only one best player. Sidney Crosby isn't the second best, the co-best player with Patrice Bergeron.
Yeah. William Eklund isn't the co-best player with Matty Beniers.
I think if everything goes to plan, it's definitely got to be Shane Wright. But
nice.
you
wouldn't be surprised by who's some
But I wouldn't be surprised if Brad Lambert, Logan Cooley, Lapsum, if everything hits with Uri Slavkovsky, you're getting one heck of a player. I just wouldn't take him over Shane Wright or Lambert or Logan Cooley. But with that being said, there's a lot of potential there. And he's got filthy reach, and he can and that allows him to open up so many lanes, and what he can do with the puck on his stick. There's just so much there. And so if everything goes according to plan for him, he could be in the conversation too.
I am turned on.
Kyle has a pillow right now on his lap.
Josh, where can people find you? What do you got going on right now?
So they can find me at Josh Tessler, and then there's an underscore after the R. I am the founder and director of scouting at Smaht Scouting, and we are a Boston-based org. And I've got I think 8 or 9 folks around the globe. I just can't remember the number off the top of my head right now. I'm currently working on a Ryan Chesley scouting report. So stay tuned for that. I'm working on I'm working on my goalie data. And I can't wait to see who you guys end up picking.
Neither can I. We're getting there.
We've saved the franchise once. We got to save it again.
Yes. When are you gonna have your next updated rankings? You guys.
So I haven't determined the exact the exact date yet, but definitely expect it in May. I just don't know if it'll be early to mid yet.
That's
Fair enough. Smaht is also spelled Smaht, like it's a Good Will Hunting movie.
yes.
Josh is obviously spelled JOSHTESSLER_. You can find us at Locked On Sharks, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Talk to us, converse with us like usual.
We are the
Email?
kings of
We are the kings of social media at
Yes.
at the Locked On Network.
by far. It's not even close.
Friendly podcast. area man rules social media. That's us. LockedOnSharks@gmail.com. Locked On Sharks on YouTube if you'd like to watch us do our thing. It's fine. Some people are into that. Spotify, Amazon, Apple, if you want to listen to us. Josh is at Josh Tessler _. Smart Scouting is at Smart Scouting. JD is at My Fry Hole.
Kyle's at Kyle Demetrius. Thank you guys for making us our first Sharks listen of the day. Go check out the Locked On Fantasy Hockey podcast if you want to get ready for your fantasy hockey playoffs. Go check out the Locked On NHL Now if you want to get a taste of what happened last night around the NHL. Or go check out one of the other amazing podcasts on the Locked On Network, such as
Locked On Ravens.
Bye, friends.
Thanks, Josh.